Oh, Disney, we've watched you struggle with your progressive productions in the past few years, but Snow White still takes the cake when it comes to controversies. The new trailer of Snow White dropped and gathered an incredible almost 1 million dislikes, just like the first teaser we saw a few months ago. My quick 3 cents about the trailer: the visuals look decent, a bit too much CGI for my taste. The dwarves are creepy, and Snow White's hair made her look like Lord Farquaad. Apparently, I'm not alone in this opinion on the internet. But the controversies I mentioned are almost all thanks to Rachel Zegler, who keeps fueling this dumpster fire of a movie. It is only now that we find out that Disney's live-action movie completely changed the backstory of the character, the reason the main character is named Snow White. But of course they did, because in our times it is embarrassing to be white, to have light skin. It actually makes you automatically a worse human being who should be ashamed of their whiteness. You think I'm being dramatic about it? But unfortunately I'm not. Just wait, I'll prove it. I've been following and posting updates about Rachel Zegler's disastrous journey as Disney's new Snow White woke princess. So if you want to know more details, check out the description of this video. I'm linking all the videos there. The whole Snow White and Disney hating saga. Let me summarize all the PR disasters Rachel Zegler and Disney's Snow White have been a part of over the last 2 years. Because the movie is about to premiere in March, that's in 2 months. So we need to be up to date with everything that happened in case anything else popped out before the release. So number 1, Rachel Zegler, the actress playing Snow White, in her early interviews actually slammed the original cartoon and the story in it, saying that in the 1935 version, Prince was a stalker and it was weird. Weird. She said Snow White won't be saved by the prince. She said she was scared of the story all her life, then was caught in a lie saying she loved Snow White all her life. It was messy. Something that wasn't her fault, of course, but the woke Disney movement, the dwarfs. Originally, they were going to cast people of various backgrounds and genders. That's a quoted bit. There is no more than 2 genders, so saying various genders is just dumb. But yes, they had the magical creatures star as 7 dwarfs, which then were replaced after mega backlash, of course, by CGI-created dwarfs who look creepy AF, because God forbid actual little people were involved in the production. So number 3 disaster, Rachel kept saying controversial stuff on the internet. She essentially called her co-star useless to the movie. During Hollywood strikes, she was filmed saying that she demands fair pay for her Snow White role, that she should be paid for every minute that's being streamed. But it was her attitude that rubbed the fans the wrong way, not the actual stuff she was saying. Her PR team must have been working overtime because her public appearances and interviews were really toned down for a few months, and then this happened after the election. She posted in her Instagram story, "I find myself speechless in the midst of this. Another 4 years of hatred leaning us towards a world I do not want to live in. Leading us towards a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in. Leading us towards a world that will force her to have a baby she doesn't want. There is nothing worse than your child not being able to kill their own child. Anyway, leading us towards a world that is fearful. I shouldn't be this shocked, but I am. I am heartbroken for my friends who awoke fear this morning. And I am here with you to cry, to yell, to hug, to wax poetic in how the left continues to fail us in forging a new path forward. This loss should not have been, and it certainly should not have been by so many votes. I echo Ethel Kane's statement more than anything. May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace." Dramatic much? Then she also posted, "There is also a deep, deep sickness in this country that is shown in the sheer amount of people who showed up for this man who threatens our democracy. It is terrifying the number of people who stand behind what this man preaches. It is a foolish subscription to a false sense of security, of masculinity, of intelligence, of patriotism, and of humanity. There is no help, no counsel in any of them. I could go on. I won't. I feel sad. You probably do too. Fuck this." I actually love it, and I think it should be turned into a book of poetry by Rachel Zegler. So another story, because when she said, "I could go on, but I won't," she actually did go on. Get off Elon's app, by the way. The fuck are you doing? So apparently someone texted her, they're eating you up on Twitter. So this was her response. I don't use that app for a reason. He helped get that man elected and you're giving him business. I was talking about finding catharsis in art. I don't care if you're gonna pick a fight with me. It's been done before. Find something real to be mad at today. There's plenty to go around. Yes. Was she done? No, she wasn't. Because like I said, when people say, I could go on, but I won't, usually they do. So here is another story by Zegler. Okay, that's all. We'll see. Going on stage for Act 2 now, and need to get off my soapbox before I get too heated. Before she gets too heated, okay? Sending love to everyone who needs it today. May we all carry each other through the worst and hold these politicians accountable. Your damn govs just got very important. They already were, but hey, follow your governors. Hold them accountable. Local government is where we will make real change. This is not the end, ever. I will love through these 4 years as best as I can. Fuck Donald Trump. Oh, God, actresses. I mean, even if I tried to like her, even if I tried really, really hard, it's not possible. She is fake. She's trying to paint herself as this honorable, big-hearted, loving, accepting person, but then writes this type of skata on her social media. And as usual, when a celebrity fucks up badly, her PR team forces her to apologize. This is the apology, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, everyone. I would like to sincerely apologize for the election post I shared on my Instagram last week. I let my emotions get the best of me. Hatred and anger have caused us to move further and further away from peace and understanding, and I am sorry I contributed to the negative discourse. This week has been emotional for so many of us, but I firmly believe that everyone has the right to their opinion, even when it differs from my own. I am committed to contributing positively towards a better tomorrow. I've been emotional, too emotional. Excuses all this time, pre-feminism of course, because today women use it when it suits them. But if someone else said it about her, the angry monster of feminism would suddenly wake up and ask, how dare you calling me emotional?
How dare you?
But you can clearly see how fake this person is. And this last statement, written by ChatGPT probably, I am committed to contributing positively toward a better tomorrow. How exactly? By being the wokest of them all? Anyway, when the world found out that Latina actress will play Snow White, there were two types of reactions. Some people weren't surprised at all, given Disney's race-swapping all classic characters in their live-action movies, but some were angry, given the fact that Snow White's looks were very important to the story. Someone even wrote on Quora last year wondering how will they explain the princess's name in the new movie. This person wrote, from all indications, they're brushing it under the rug. She will either be named Snow White because she was born in winter, or she is Snow White because her father wants her to have a heart as pure as snow. These are equally possible and probably will be both. We know the film opens with a flashback to her father's death, where he says something like, Snow White will be fearful no more, but fearless, and will become a leader that is fair, brave, and true. And now we know, because Zegler confirmed it in her recent interview with Variety. As for that line about skin as white as snow, Zegler reveals that the new film has its own origin story for her name. It fell back to another version of Snow White that was told in history, where she survived a snowstorm that occurred when she was a baby. She says, and so the king and queen decided to name her Snow White to remind her of her resilience. One of the core points of our film for any young woman or young person is remembering how strong you actually are. She corrected herself there. She said, for any young woman or person, we're not only speaking to women, everyone is a woman. Anyway, I challenge everyone watching the video to find the version of Snow White origin story where she is named after a snowstorm she survived as a baby. Because I did search for it. I dug deep. and I couldn't find it. I found another Brother Grimm's story about Snow White and Blood Red or something like that, but that's not the story we're talking about. Why not tell the truth? But what is the truth? Well, here it is. They hired a Colombian actress who is absolutely beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I do not care about her race or heritage. Apparently she is quarter or half Polish too. But they did hire an actress that did not match the original description of the character. So instead of replacing the actress, they decided to change the story. Let's remember the original story then, which was validated. On Snopes, there was a claim posted. Snow White was named for her physical appearance in the Brothers Grimm's tale from 1812, and it was validated and rated as true. This is the story. Once upon a time, in the middle of winter, when the flakes of snow were falling like feathers from the sky, a queen sat at the window sewing, and the frame of the window was made of black ebony. And whilst she was sewing and looking out the window at the snow, she pricked her finger with the needle, and 3 drops of blood fell upon the snow. And the red looked pretty upon the white snow, and she thought to herself, would that I had a child as white as snow, as red as blood, and as black as the wood of the window frame. Soon after that, she had a little daughter who was as white as snow and as red as blood, and her hair was as black as ebony, and she was therefore called Little Snow White. And when the child was born, the queen died. So you see, they couldn't go with that story. But Rachel Zegler claiming that they found that other version of Snow White's name origin and they went with that, where is it? What is it? I want to see. I'm tired of lies. Here is some truth then. We are living in times where being white is lame. Being white is bad. Racism towards white people is fine. Being proud of being white is unacceptable. So having a character in a movie being praised for beautiful white skin just doesn't work today. The liberals wouldn't like it because how can you say that a white girl is beautiful, her skin is white as snow? No, unacceptable. We can only praise other races for their skin color and validate their pride in being whatever they are. There is a term that exists for it, white guilt. And apparently white guilt, if you Google it, is a belief that white people bear a collective responsibility for the harm which has resulted from historical or current racist treatment of people belonging to other ethnic groups. As for example, in the context of the Atlantic slave trade, European colonialism, and the genocide of indigenous people. So I went on TikTok and I typed Black Pride, Asian Pride. Hell, I typed pride on its own. All the results showed a bunch of videos of people talking about how proud they are of who they are. Then I typed in white pride, and this is what came up. No results found. This phrase may be associated with hateful behavior. TikTok is committed to keeping our community safe and working to prevent the spread of hate. For more information, we invite you to review our community guidelines. But then I typed in white guilt, and a whole bunch of videos came up teaching us why we should feel guilty about being born the way we were. So no, Snow White original story couldn't happen in our times because it is not progressive, doesn't fit anymore. And most of all, it compliments white people, and that's unacceptable today. We can only say nice things about other races. I know I went on a bit of a rant, but as usual, I want to know what you guys think. Should Disney have kept the original story as it was, being that her name was given to her because of her white as snow skin color, or progressive Disney version is better? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, share it, and of course subscribe to my channel to never miss another Daily Freddo episode. And for even more content, follow me on Instagram at Daily Freddo. That's all for today. Have a good one.
I love that description. It's perfect.